Hello everyone and welcome to SimpliCode's YouTube channel. Kaushal this side and I hope you guys are doing well. Today we'll be taking you through an interesting topic in CSS, which is CSS Scroll Bar. Now, you guys might be wondering, do we even need to style the scroll bar of a web page or anywhere? So, of course we do. In this video, we'll see what we can do with the scroll bar and how we can achieve it with the help of CSS only. But before we start, I would like to take a quick confirmation from the viewers that the screen is clearly visible and the audio is fine. If yes, please type yes in the chat section. Otherwise, if any changes are required from our end, do let us know in the chat section only. So let's wait for some more minutes so that some more people can join us. Until then, let me tell you guys that we have regular updates on multiple programming videos. So in case you are a programmer and if you want to learn something new on different programming languages, then do subscribe to our YouTube channel and press that bell icon to never miss any updates from SimpliCode. Great, I think we can get started without wasting any time now. So before we move on and dive into the programming part, let's understand what a scroll bar is and how we can get one on our web page. Now, a horizontal bar at the bottom of a window or a vertical bar on its right side, on the right side of the window, it can be used to shift the window's content in different direction. It can either be up, down, left or right. We can shift the content in any direction, right? We can shift the window. We can view the content of the window in any direction. So how we can get one? Now, first of all, you must have seen it in many places, right? Whether you are working on a document, going through a web page or doing anything that does not basically fits in within the desktop area. Fine. You need a scroll bar to access the content at that particular time, right? So what we are going to do is we are going to create a scroll bar first. So let's see what we can do to create a scroll bar first. So first thing first, what we need to do is we need to add content to our web page. So here we have an empty web page. Now let me just fix it a bit. So yeah, I guess it's fine now. So what we are going to do is we are going to add some content over here first. So we are going to use the div tag for that. Let's use a class within the div tag because later we are going to add a scroll bar for this particular div tag only. Fine. So let's do one thing. Let's write over here the class as crawler. Fine. So let's say this is the class. And now within the div tag, we need some content. What we can do? We can either add an image or we can either add text. So let's add some text. We have this lorem word over here. So the trick to this word is if you want to add random paragraph to your web page, or you can say random text to a web page, what you can do is you can write this lorem and you can write any word. So let's say if we are writing any number over here like 100, press enter and save the program. You can see we have 100 words on our web page in form of text. So what we are going to do is for now we are going to take obviously more than 100 words. So what we are going to do is we are going to write over here lorem 500. Fine, save it now. And here you can see, so this is what we call as a scroll bar. So you can see this bar on the vertical side, or we can say on the right hand side of our browser's window. So this is what we call as a scroll bar. Now how we can use it with the help of CSS? Is it possible to use it? So first of all, we'll create one for our own. Fine. So what we'll do is we'll move to the head section. We'll use the style attribute, or we can say style tag over here. Now what we are going to do is we have the class as scroller. So we'll write over here dot scroller. So dot here is used to access any particular HTML element with the help of class name. Yeah, what we'll do is we'll define the width of a division. Division means container, right? So we have been through it already. I hope you guys know about it. So let's say the width we are going to set as 300 pixels. Save it. The width you can see here is 300 pixels. Now the next step we have to do is we have to mention the height as well. So let's do one thing. Let's create the width as 300 and the height as 200 pixels. Fine. Save it. Now here you can see the height attribute does not make any effect on a web page. Why so? Because the content present within the web page is quite large to fit in a box which has 200 pixels of height and 300 pixels of width. In that case, what we can do is we can use another CSS property. So the CSS property we are going to use here is overflow. So overflow through the y-axis. What is y-axis? If you know maths a little bit, if you know about graphs, so what a y-axis is? The horizontal axis on any graph is known as the y-axis. Oh, sorry. The vertical axis on any graph is known as the y-axis, and the horizontal axis is known as the x-axis. So what we can do is we can change the overflow of the y-axis. So what we can do here is we can use the scroll value. So scroll is the value which will add a scroll bar to a content. Save it, and here you can see. Now the height is 200 pixels, the width is 300 pixels. Perfect. We have a scroll bar over here as well, right? So this is the scroll bar, and this is how we can add it to a web page. Now the question is how we can edit it, how we can customize it. So there are multiple ways to change the style of a scroll bar in CSS. The question here is, do we really need to change the style of a scroll bar? And the answer to this question is, of course, yes. If it looks good and if we can do it easily, then why not we should add a scroll bar to a web page. Now, let's understand the concept of WebKits, because WebKits we are going to use to add a scroll bar, or we can say to customize the scroll bar on a web page. And then we'll style a scroll bar using WebKits only. Fine. So let's go. So CSS has several WebKit extensions that are supported by applications based on WebKit and Blink. So applications based on WebKit and Blink are Safari browser, which is normally present in Mac OS, or we can say Apple products, and the Chrome browser. These both supports WebKit. Now, a WebKit is nothing but an extension that helps the browser to support any property which is previously not supported by the browser. In case, if you know that we have a property named as scroll bar color. Fine. So if we can set it to red over here, save it, and here you can see this property was supposed to change the color of a scroll bar, but nothing is happening because we are not using a WebKit. So what we have to do is we have to use the Webkit extension. The easiest way to use Webkit is just write double colon, then dash Webkit, and after Webkit we have to write scroll bar. Fine. Scroll bar. And let's see, let's write the width over here as 20 pixels. Save it. And just a second. Okay, we have to remove this from here. Okay. We have to write it 20 pixels over here. We have to remove this curly braces from here. We have to paste it here, save it, and it's gone. It's completely gone. Fine. Why so? Because we have written over here scroller. Save it now, and it's back again. The width is 20 pixel as of now. Let's change it to 10 pixel and see if it works. So it's not working. Let's use some other properties first, and then we'll see. So we have to edit the track. This is the track where the scroll will go. So this is basically the track. This is the handle basically. Fine. So what we are going to do is we are going to edit the track now. So we have to write over here. What we have to write is we have to put these two. We have to write here WebKit again. Then we have to write here a scroll bar. We have to write, I guess. Let's see if it works or not. Save it. And with scroll bar it's not working. We'll get to know in this particular property. So let's write over here box shadow. Box shadow we are going to write set as inset, and then we will provide the value 0, 0 and 5 pixels and gray. Save it, and here you can see this is the scroll bar. Fine. Now it's changed. The scroll bar is completely changed. The scroll bar we are going to use here because it's telling the browser, it's asking the browser to change the scroll bar only. We are not going to use the class name over here. Fine. Keep this thing in mind. And if your WebKit dash scroll bar, this property is not working, just wait for a few moments and start working on this property. Start editing, or we can say customizing the track of a scroll bar. Now let's change the width over here as 30 pixels, save it, and here you can see the scroll bar is quite thick now. It's 30 pixels in size, so it is supposed to be this thick. And the next thing we are going to do here is we are going to write here border radius. So let's change the border radius. What border radius property will do? You guys can let me know in the comment section or in the chat section, but let me tell you first. So the border radius property will change the borders, right? It will make it a little bit curvy. So let's do it. Let's write something over here. Let's say 10 pixels. And here you can see the borders are curvy now. The corners basically, right? What we can do is we can change the value over here for this. Do it as 15 pixels. And now it looks like a pill. So yeah, it looks good. Now the next property or the next thing we are going to customize is the handle. We are not able to see the handle over here. Are you able to see it? No, right? So what we can do is we can change the handle style as well. For that, what we have to do is we have to write here this again. Now every time we have to use the Webkit. Fine. So for handle we have to write here scroll bar. Then we have to write here thumb. Fine. So this is the property, and then we'll use curly braces. Now we have to change the, what we can say, thumb. What we want to change is we want to change the color of a scroller, basically the one which scrolls, right? So we'll write over here color, BACK, background, or we can say background color. Basically it's both the same, I guess. Let's set it to blue, save it, and here you can see, right? Here we have this thumb present, or we can say handle present, but it's not circular on the corners, right? It's rectangular in shape. So what we can do is we can change the border radius for this as well. So we'll set the same border radius, which is 15 pixel in that case. Save it, and now you guys can see it looks good, right? So we have made a customized scroll bar. Now what we can do more is, what other things we can do? We can change the color on hover. Let's do it. Fine. Let's change the color of this particular thumb. So what we have to do is we have to copy this from here. This property will remain the same for hover effect as well. I guess you guys are well aware of hover effect by now. If not, we'll see in future. So we'll write over here hover. Okay, so we have to write it like this. Then we have to use curly braces. We are going to change the background color to aqua, let's say. Save it. Move your cursor to over the thumb, or we can say over the scroller, and here you can see the color changing. Right, it's blue initially, and on taking the mouse cursor over it, the color is changing to aqua, or whatever you guys want to say, sky blue, whatever color this is. I'm not good with colors, so yeah, here it's working totally fine, right? So guys, this is how we can customize the scroll bar we use on a web page with the help of CSS. I hope you guys must have enjoyed this session. If you feel that we have missed out on some important topic that we were supposed to cover in this particular tutorial, then please feel free to drop them down in the comment section below, and we'll have your questions answered as soon as possible. Also, we will consider every suggestion provided by you guys. So with that, this is Kaushal signing off until next time. Thank you.